What's up, everyone? This is Forgo, and today we're going to show the importance of the 7 nice characters. We're going to use Rachel as an example today against Immortal Rahk. And she is absolutely insane for this thing. You see the score that I'm going to put up. I will show you guys that run. This game mode is absolutely devastating to all of us because you need some powerful characters. Look at what I got here. I have 3 maxed out characters for the first team. Then I have 3 level 40 characters for the second team. I mean, this is some crazy stuff. And you definitely want to make sure you have PG rate. The Rio cards aren't worth a damn in this thing, guys. The Tekken set isn't worth a damn. It's only the PG rate is what you're looking at. You're just looking for this PG rate. And you want to have characters that have burn, and you want to have characters that have super armor, and characters that have blast skills. These teams, in my opinion, are probably the best teams you could probably go with, to be perfectly honest. I mean, there's other options out there. You don't have to use a red team, but red have the advantage against this guy. They're going to do more damage, and they're going to take a lot less damage. Plus, it's going to make use of some characters that you might not normally use, like Kyo, which is pretty awesome. So let's take a look at their builds. So, like I said, the first team's completely maxed out, and you're going to notice a little trend amongst these characters. Even though I'm getting 20% PG rate from these characters, I got a PG stone on all of them. I have this PG stone on Kay, the Rahk, and Rachel because they absolutely will need it to do their ultimates more often. I tested this. I spent about 3 hours playing this game mode, testing it with the PG rate stones on and with them off, putting a different stone here that gives them more damage. And I can tell you the PG rate stone was the best, definitely for this game mode. Having that PG rate just enables them to build their PG up super fast and be able to do their ultimates more often. And the more often you do your ultimates, the more time that you're delaying from the boss. You know, you're delaying that timer so you're able to do more damage over time. It just makes the world of difference. Then, of course, I got the gold stones here. Increase attack by 10%. Increase defense fighter attack by 10%. And then the other gold stone, increase attack, increase defense type fighters by 12%. So these are the best stones, plus burn, of course. And he has max capsules. And I'm running the KSat on this guy. As ultimate skill. And you want to use this 5 PG. That really makes a difference. This thing is an amazing long ultimate skill. Rachel here, I got her completely maxed out. I told you guys I want to do something special with Rachel, and this is what it is. I have the Akane set on. It's a massive PvE set for her. I got her cards pretty much maxed out except for the second one. I usually don't take this card 30, but I probably should, but it really wouldn't make that much of a difference. As far as her imprint stones, we have the 7 nice stones on her first and last stone. Now, something to keep in mind is for the 7 nice characters, you can use this character in Guild Raid, and I actually do have another imprint stone for her for Guild Raid. I do actually have this stone right here that I already leveled up. And, you know, in a game mode like Guild Raid, having this stone leveled up, or maybe a different game mode, or like, say, the Elemental Events, where you're actually, you know, like, well, I'll just show you. These things here, these events right here, having that extra CP is going to make the world of difference. So having an extra stone really will help. I know it sucks that you're going to have to level up 2 different stones. If you want to just play it safe, you could just level up 1 PG stone and then just have 2 Ember stones. And everybody got 2 of these PG stones from the bingo event that we just had recently. Well, if you chose this stone, this is the one that I recommended for everybody. And for this specific reason, she has max capsules. I mean, she's all decked up, guys. She got 61,604 CP. If I put the Tekken set on her and I have that second imprint stone on her, she'll have over 74,000 CP. But I tested it, and the fest sets just do more damage. And then we have the Rahk. Rahk's maxed out, level 50, maxed out capsules. He has max imprint stones. And again, you know, I've got the gold stone here to increase the bleed and attack. And then the gold increase the bleed and attack. And then, of course, we have the PG stone here that gains power charge rate. For his card set, we have the Akane set on him. We got his cards up here. So a completely maxed out team. And I can tell you that this team here can hit about 250 million. Probably do a little bit better on a really, really good run, depending on how many times you critical hit. Of course, you know, how many times you're doing those critical hits is really going to make a difference and how much damage you're going to do. But this is an insane team. You got 2 burn characters on this team. You got super armor on all these characters. There's blast skills involved in all these characters. And then on the second team, we have Geese. We have Geese in the leadership, of course, for this power charge rate by 15%. And if you look at Geese, I am running the Noah set on him. I have his ultimates here. If you look at his imprint stones, I just have this first imprint stone. Honestly, if I had one of them gold stones that have shock damage, that would be a whole lot better. So I actually want to switch that out and put one of them on here. And the same goes for here. I just don't have any of those stones available to me, so I don't have them on. But I do have a PG stone. Now, I will say this. For Geese, when it comes to having a PG stone, I mean, he gets 15% power charge rate from his core, and he also gets 15% power charge rate from his leadership. I honestly think you probably don't need this. You probably could just put a gold stone that increases shock damage for attack type fighters, like these here, only for a shock damage character instead of bleed and burn. But he is level 40. He does have maxed out capsules. And then Kyo here. Now this was kind of surprising. Kyo, I still got to work on his capsules. I ran out of them actually, leveling up all these characters. But you will need, the cool thing about Kyo is he's a red balance type. And the same with Rachel. You're going to need them past tier 40 in Reviving Hell's Dungeon. So you're going to have to build these characters regardless. So it doesn't hurt to put a little something extra in. Plus I love Kyo and he's going to be getting a buff. So that's something else to keep in mind. I do have the gold stone that increases attack and balance type fighters attack and burn. And the same for the last one here. And then I got a PG stone. And I know that Kyo has this increased power charge rate by 70% for 10 seconds. But from the testing I did, again, guys, I spent about 3 hours doing this. Having a PG stone on Kyo just seemed to be better. He just seemed to be doing his ultimate more often, therefore enabling us to do more damage. It just made the world of difference, man. And PG stones are freaking nuts. And then for his card set, I have a Leah set on him. We're also going to get a little reflect from these sets, which is really nice. And then I got his 5 PG card. And he actually will, because of his second skill and because of having a PG stone, he actually will do his 5 PG because he does build up his PG pretty fast, especially since he's getting 15% PG rate from Geese. And then we have Mr. Karate. And Mr. Karate is freaking insane for this. I got a Leah set on him. I got his 3 PG card pretty much maxed out. Imprint stones, I have no imprint stones on this guy. And that's because I just have none available. Mr. Karate is a unique character because he does get bleed. He does get bleed, but he only gets, he gains super armor, reflex burn, bleed damage by 20% for 3 seconds when attacked while burned or bleed. So he's got to be burned or bleeding to have bleed to promote dot damage. So if he's facing an opponent that doesn't have bleed, which this opponent doesn't have, he don't burn or bleed you, you're not really going to be benefiting from having them stones except for the attack buff that you get from him. You could put them gold stones on him to get a little extra attack. You can put these kind of stones on him because you're still going to get this extra attack by 12%. And you might get the extra HP, whatever, for them. And that'll be good. That'll bump up their CP. But he's really not going to benefit from that bleed. And I kind of really don't want to put that kind of stone on him because I just don't feel like he's fully benefiting from it. But it still would be a decent stone to slap on him. And I have no capsules. So Mr. Karate, I got a lot of work to do, but I just ran out of materials. I mean, this was a lot of investment to get these characters leveled up the way they are. Really was a pain in the butt, to be perfectly honest, guys. So we're going to do the run. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I'm doing. And you can see the CP I have is 190,000. It's just crazy. And then 144,000 on the second team. And I still could not max out the score. So let's jump into the action and let's rock and roll. So we've already established that you need to run on auto. So I went ahead and switched to auto. And what you want to do is, and this is kind of the thing you have to remember. whenever you got characters that have 5 PG cards and you're running on auto, the game will automatically do their default finisher. You know, they won't do their 5 PG. So what you got to do is make sure you're always keeping your fingers on those buttons, either hitting your basic attack or keep using your active skills, keep pressing them. That way the game doesn't use your 5 PG. And then when your 5 PG is ready, just like what I did, go ahead and hit your 5 PG. And this animation is so long, it helps out so much. And by the way, guys, whenever I tested Rachel without the PG rate stone and with the PG rate stone, whenever I had the PG rate stone on her, I gained about 40 million in damage. That is the difference that damn stone made just on her, because she just does the 3 PG so much more often. And the Rahk is always his godsend. Here we go. And we're going to apply that burn. And you'll notice these characters are just going to keep doing it over and over and over. And the Rahk, you know, he has no PG rate in his core, so he absolutely needs that damn stone. 15% PG rate just is, or I'm sorry, 20% PG rate from K's leadership just isn't enough. There you go. And like right now, you notice I keep hitting my basic attacks. My default was ready. I kept hitting my basic attacks to make sure that this stupid game wouldn't automatically use K's default finisher. I don't want him to use that. I want to use the damn 5 PG. And by the way, something else to let you guys know, when I just used the default finisher instead of K's 5 PG, I lost about 50 million in damage. Yeah. So if you're able to use his 5 PG throughout the fight, and it's going to change depending on your CP of your characters and all that, but for me on my account, I gained about 50 million in damage because I was using his 5 PG. Because throughout this, and you have to play on auto, guys, because if you don't, the characters won't do their active skill, their skill 1, 2, and 3, while you're doing your ultimate skill. So you have to play on auto. If you play on semi-auto, they'll just do their basic attacks. You won't be doing near the damage. It's just important to make sure that you're always tapping your skills when you're using a character that has a 5 PG. That way you make sure you use that long 5 PG that they have, especially in K's case. That's very, very important. It makes the world of difference in the amount of damage that you're going to do. Come on, buddy. And I really hope that Rahk comes back, or like some character that has this long animation like the Rahk, because he just works out great here because he is a red type and he benefits from that leadership that K has, and he just has that 8-second ultimate skill, which is crazy. And by the way, guys, if he don't have that PG stone on him, he won't be doing this. He only does his ultimate maybe twice, and that's about it. Twice. So here we go. And we hit 243 million with the first team, and they could hit the 250 million, but it takes a really good run. Yeah, sometimes whenever you're playing with your characters, they kind of run all over the place. Now here, I'm actually using Mr. Karate. I find that Mr. Karate is extremely fragile. Yes, he has hyper armor, but he has no damage reduction. He can die. Keo can play on auto, and so can Geese. So I'm playing Mr. Karate to make sure he stays alive, which is funny because he's a cost 65 character, and the other characters seem to have better survivability. But that is what was working out for me. And I tried playing Geese and just using his 5 PG because it is a nice and long animation, or fairly decent long animation. But when I did, I lost damage, and Mr. Karate would just die. He would die early, actually. So it was just better for me to play Mr. Karate. And that's maybe a little tidbit for all of you that are going to use him. But if you had max capsules on him, that would really add to his HP. If you had those imprint stones that give him extra HP and attack, that would really help him as well. So then maybe you could play on auto, and then maybe you could play with Geese and play him manually. And you notice, Keo just did his 5 PG, but it missed, actually, is what happened there, which sucked. Didn't get the damage from it, which is a bum deal. And I really do think I could do better, but I had to play this quite a few times to be able to even do this, because a lot of times K, he'll freaking do his like 5 PG and he just stands there, and then it completely gets canceled and he doesn't do it at all. So I had to reset the game quite a few times because of that. Now I'm trying to pour on as much damage as I could. We hit 1 second, so I wanted to go ahead and do this 3 PG. Oh yeah, it's a real shame Karate doesn't do burn, even though you see burn from his skill. And boom, 338 million. That's a personal best. This is a damn hard dungeon. I think even with the second team completely maxed out, it's still going to be a freaking nightmare. So hopefully this will help somebody out and show that, having one of the Seven Nights characters, Rachel, who's absolutely free, is just a godsend, especially for this game mode. So let me know how you're all doing in the game. Let me know what characters you've gotten, what cards you've gotten, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.